Welcome to Dani Cees Love Life Lessons, where your presence is a blessing, so enjoy the session. What's up, y'all, man? It has been a hell of a week for your girl, but I ain't finna claim nothing negative. It's been a week for your girl, I'm a little under the weather, so today my plan was to have my guest in studio, but just to be mindful and respectful of other people's situations, I don't want to pass on any of my germs. So I got a little scratchy throat, a little bit of cough, nothing that God can't fix. So today's show is perfect, especially with the week I'm having. Sometimes we have a tough week and we fall into this, this negative zone because everything seems to be falling apart. And that's literally been my life this week. I've been feeling like everything's falling apart with my health, not feeling too well. One thing gets better, something else happens. And so I think this is the perfect episode to have today with my girl, Miss Ena Coleman, who has written a book called Energy is Everything. Match the vibration of the life you desire. Now, I got a little story to tell about this book because I got it. Was it last November? I feel like I got this book in November because we had a Friendsgiving or something like that at one of my friends' houses. And this is when I got the opportunity to meet Mrs. Coleman. And I think it was just the gods aligned, the stars aligned, the universe aligned, however you want to say it. But it was really a God-given moment that I got an opportunity to meet this woman because she is absolutely, absolutely smart. I like smart women. I like confident women. I like women that have been through something and still rise above and overcome and find a way to try to pass along positivity to the next sister. And I'm telling you, I immediately was connected and drawn to her. And so after, sitting around playing games, laughing, talking and getting to know her with amongst some other women, I was intrigued by her. And when she introduced her book and handed it out and gave it to everyone, I thought that's why I was so attracted to her. The name of her book is Energy is Everything, and absolutely her energy is everything. So without further ado, I'm going to be asking her to join in via StreamYard in a couple of seconds here. She's going to come in, enter the studio so we can have this great conversation about her book. Because it's perfect. It's aligned with my life and the things that has been happening this week and just kind of getting all out of whack. And sometimes we beat ourselves up for things that we can't control because it's frustrating, right? Nobody wants to go through things that are hard or difficult all the time, right? I know life is not always a skating rink, right? You just skate through everything and everything's, happy, happy, joy, joy. But we try our best to live that way. And the things that I read in her book today really enlightened me. And I say today because I'm gonna keep it real. I read it today. It's a thin book, if you see, so it didn't take me long to go through it. And I have been meaning to pick it up, meaning to read it, meaning to look at it. But when she comes in the studio and we talk about some of the topics that she brings up in the book, she's speaking directly to me, my soul, and my spirit, because sometimes we procrastinate and we hold off on things that we shouldn't. But I think also things happen for a reason. It was a reason I needed to read this book today. Like I said, because of the events that was happening this week, I felt a little bit under the weather. A lot of different things was going on that when I picked up this book today, I said, that's why your ass should have read it back in November. And without further ado, I see that she's introduced. Let's welcome Miss Ena Coleman.
Hey, Dani. How are you?
I am blessed. Hi, thank you. You look amazing as usual. That smile just brightens up the room. I was just speaking about your book, Energy is Everything. And before we get all the way into that, tell us who Ena is.
Ena is many things and discovering more and more about herself every day. Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Ena Coleman, and I am the author of Energy is Everything. I was getting ready to give you my work bio. My workshops, like, yeah, my pronouns are she, her. I'm a digital strategist. Like, I do this all day.
But you're keeping it all the way. Let your locks down here.
Yes, girl, they're growing too. I'm having a blast with them. But no, I'm an author. I'm a community builder. I'm a digital strategist by trade. I'm a mom, a friend, daughter. I'm many things. And
a hero, okay? Because you are doing your thing like
sweet.
You are amazing. I was just saying, and I'm just gonna keep it all the way real. I got this book in November and I read it today. But you know what? You brought up some things in this book, Energy is Everything. And I was like, why is she speaking to my soul and my spirit like that, all up in my business? Like
That's why I wrote it. That's
right.
why I wrote it. And I'm so happy to talk about it today because I don't talk about it enough. And when we met back in November, that day was just like, it was incredible. It was so
Yeah,
amazing. You know
it was.
what? This picture is crooked and it's bothering me.
No, it's okay, girl. My sign tell me if I need to fix it.
Oh, girl, I'll be all on my, yeah. But it was just such an encouraging space. And y'all giving me the opportunity to talk about my book and being excited about it just really relit the fire under me where I'm like, you don't give yourself enough credit for writing this. And it helped me. Like it was very healing for me to write it and to hear feedback from people who have read it has just been, yeah, it's been pretty incredible feeling to know like, hey, yeah, you did that. You did that and you made some points. You made some points.
You made some very valid points, like I said, and it's not a large book. And that's what I think that's what really says the most about this book, because you know you get these books, they're novels, right? You got 1,600 chapters, you're gonna take about a week or a month to read it, but this was straight and to the point, honey, and it's so well written. Like, do not be fooled by the thinness of this book. It is so full of knowledge, of gems, like absolutely. It meant so much to me, especially because I've had a hell of a week. You know, you were supposed to be in studio. Thank you for being flexible with me, but I didn't want to pass on any of my germs. So you're going to see me with my halls. You're going to see my honey over here, girl. I am trying to work through this, but reading this book really opened my eyes. And my husband will say, oh, somebody else can tell you, but I told you that. And he's been saying that type of stuff to me all week. And literally the things that you've been saying in your book, he always tells me because it's so positive. It's so uplifting. It's so affirming. You know what I'm saying? So where are you from, Ena? Tell us.
I am from Long Beach, California. Born and raised and currently residing. I love my little city by the sea. Actually, like I said, I've been here my whole life, so I definitely take for granted sometimes the things that are right here in my backyard. Literally, like did a little hot girl walk today and was at the beach in 20 minutes. Like I'm really that close to the water, but because it's always been here, I know. But yeah, Long Beach raised me. I'm a project chick. I was born and raised in Springdale projects. Yeah.
And on the west side, woo woo.
West side all day. It's gonna be Long Beach, it's gonna be west side for sure. But I do like to say, like I grew up in Springdale, but I was raised in 173, which is the number of the apartment that I used to live in. My mom was very religious. We weren't allowed to do a bunch of things. And so I spent a lot of my formative years just kind of chilling in the house, you know, Gen X, latchkey kid, coming and going, making my own meals, me and my younger brother. But I have no complaints about my childhood. My mom instilled some really amazing things in me. And yeah, it's gotten me to where I am. And so, yeah, Long Beach through and through. I will rep my city forever. And if I don't ever have to move, I won't.
Well, funny story. I really took Long Beach for granted when I was there because now I'm in the hot ass valley and I would love to get some of that beach breeze about now because all of a sudden we're getting warm again. But when my mom moved me from Inglewood, because I'm from Inglewood, we moved to Cerritos for a short time and then she bought a house in Bixby Knolls. So I lived in Long Beach for a great part of my life. I graduated from school in Long Beach, options for youth charter school, woo woo, for the home studies. And so you're right about Long Beach. Long Beach has a lot of hidden gems, like a lot of cultural like stuff that you would not even know, like Shades of Africa. It's a lot of little spots that it's in the cut, but just full of culture, full of love. And I absolutely got love for Long Beach from Inglewood to Long Beach. I absolutely do have love for it.
I love it. Yes, let's talk about it.
Energy is everything. First of all, this book is everything. It literally is. The title alone is captivating. And just to piggyback on what you said on how we met in November, I was, at a friend Joy's house. She had a Friendsgiving, and shout out to Joy. She always brings me around some amazing people. She always puts together the cutest little get-togethers, and I have met some great people. And like your book even said about no new friends. I've met new friends, and it's a beautiful thing. So when you wrote Energy is Everything, was it the first time that you wrote a book, or it was just the first time you decided to publish something?
So it's the first time that I've intentionally written a book. When
Okay.
I was in like high school, I really enjoyed writing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I had like this experience with my English teacher when I was like in the 10th grade over something that I had written that I had worked really hard on, and I got like a really bad grade on it. And
Boo.
so even though he talked to me about it after the fact, because he could tell that he kind of crushed my spirit a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
girl, yeah, it still just kind of like made me step back into my shell. And so I used to write short stories all the time, but this is the first time that I intentionally sat down and I was like, okay, girl, your next milestone is you're gonna write a book. And so this one was really special to me based on where I was in the current time, and kind of looking back and seeing all of the things that I put into place to get me into a position where I could start exploring the things that I've always wanted to do without limitations and without fear of not doing it correctly or it not being good enough. It was a goal that I set out for myself and one that I stuck to. And yeah, it turned into this amazing little manual of my journey from being this struggling single baby mama to thriving in a life that I really love and that I'm super intentional about. So yeah, this is my first published book. This is my baby, and there's more ideas in my brain. I just got to sit down.
Right. And so in your book, you talk a little bit about that. Like you were saying about procrastinating a little bit and being afraid, like fearful
Yeah,
of failure.
yeah,
But I like how you spun it into a positive thing. Failure shows that you're trying. And I swear I needed to hear that today.
yeah.
Like, for example, Danny C's Love Life Lessons. It had been an idea for the longest. And I kept talking about it because I came from radio. I used to actually work at an independent radio station called Everybody Radio in Long Beach.
I feel
And
like I've heard of that.
yeah, I used to work there. And I would, after the owner passed away, things changed. I didn't, do it anymore for a while. I started saying, I want to do my own thing. I want to open my own, do my own radio show. And then all of a sudden this thing called podcast came out. And I'm like, damn, I had been thought of that. Now I'm seeing everybody and their mama throw it out. Now I was like,
Yeah,
damn, I should have did it when I, first thought of it. And I would have been kind of been an innovator. And my husband was the one to push me and say, I'm going to buy this stuff. You're
yeah,
getting ready to go do this because you're talking about it and sitting on it and sitting on it. And this is something that's in you. It's not on you. It's something that you want to do. So
yeah,
that's when I say your book spoke to me in so many ways today. It
yeah.
absolutely did. You
I think a
mentioned,
lot of us don't pursue our dreams because we think that the industry is too saturated. Like I know
yeah,
exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, everybody's doing it. Yeah.
Everybody's doing it, but it's like there are like 7 billion people on the planet or something like
Mhm.
that. Don't quote me
Mhm.
on that. I'm not sure if that's the right answer, but
It's a lot.
no, it's a bunch of us. It's a bunch of us, okay? And there's no one person that can serve an entire market.
Right. You're right.
So putting your spin on whatever it is like never there's you are in your own lane. So
Right.
your lane is never saturated because it's yours.
Right. Because nobody can't be you. Right.
Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned something about the time you were in and the space you were in when you wrote this book. Tell us a little bit about that. Like what really led you to write Energy is Everything? What was going on?
Man, it was rough. When I wrote the book, I was coming out of 7, 8, 10 years of just like the single parenting journey,
Mhm.
unsuccessful partnerships,
Mhm.
jobs that I was working really hard at and not getting paid well enough at. And it was around, so like I mentioned, I'm Gen X. So I'm 43 years old. I'll be 44 this year. And when I was growing up, like I grew up without the internet. We
Right.
didn't get the internet until I don't even remember when it started, but I was well into my formative years when we started seeing social media. And so when you see all the younger generation and you see all these digital things and they're digital nomads and they're here and there and they're working everywhere, I started to realize that like there's space, there are things being created
Yes.
that you can be a part of. Like, you don't have to be stagnant. You can take what it is that you're doing and go do it somewhere else. And so I was just feeling like, man, like, am I going to be broke forever? Like, am I going to be working from paycheck to paycheck forever? And I'm seeing all these people live their wildest dreams. And I'm like, I want some of that. And one thing about me is, like, my whole life, I've said, I always knew that I was destined for something really great, but I didn't know what it was.
Right.
Like, I never felt like being in a cubicle or being at a 9-to-5 job was something that was going to be sustainable for me, because one, I don't like people telling me what to do. I'm a grown up. And I know in life, we all got to listen to somebody at some time, but
absolutely,
it was a little too slick for how much they was paying me. So I'm like,
okay,
I got to figure this out. And so I read Napoleon Hill, wait, I got to find the name of the title. I read a Napoleon Hill book, and it changed my life. Like, I know it's in here something. Yeah, The Law
of Grow Rich, right?
Yeah, no. It was The Law of Success that I read first.
Okay.
I did read Think and Grow Rich after, but like, The Law of Success was basically and I listened to it on audio while I was working at the job that I was at the time, and it was really talking about manifestation.
Yes.
And like the roadblocks that we put in our own way, because internally our dialogue is like, I can't do it. This is not for me. Like, how do I get from here to there?
Mm-hmm.
And being envious of people who had more than you, jealousy, like those types of feelings. And in the book, he basically says the reason why you don't have what you want is because you don't think you can have it.
Right.
Period.
It's a mind thing. It starts in the mind. My husband tells me that all the time.
Oh my God.
He tells me this every single time, because like, I've been sick and I just been saying I'm sick every day. Is something new. He's like, if you start saying I'm gonna feel better, I'm gonna be better, but then at the time you're frustrated, you don't want to hear that shit. You like manifestation. Well, I want $1 million. Let me see it pop up. But it's not really that, right?
It's not really that. It's faith plus works. So from that time, I was like, okay, let me start just looking at what the possibilities are. Like, what are my options? If I am going to get out of this cycle, then I'm going to have to do something different, because basically I was just complaining in a cycle and making decisions that were keeping me stuck and feeling like I was at a loss of options, because I was a single parent, because I'm a Black woman without a degree, because I'm from the projects, so many things. As smart as I am, like, I still was like, the world is keeping me from doing what it is that I want to do. When in reality, I just wasn't trusting myself enough to try a whole bunch of stuff and figure out what stuck. Right. And so once I read that book, everything started to click into place. Like, I started researching what's happening in the digital world and what the jobs are, and connecting myself with different platforms that were catered toward Black creators, Black entrepreneurs, new and upcoming entrepreneurs, like giving you the game. I remember one of the things that I came across was a Facebook group. That's how long ago this was. A Facebook group called Brand, Build, and Launch, which is this woman named Asha. I can't think of her last, but she owns Mumbo Sauce, if you've ever heard of Mumbo Sauce in DC. And it was basically a group full of Black entrepreneurs where you could ask questions, you could find clients, you could do this and you can do that. And so I just started shooting my shot. I had no idea what I was going to be doing. I started packaging my services as a virtual assistant, which is still a really good job. And if you have really good admin and clerical skills, I suggest that you look into virtual assisting, because a lot of people need that. But it was liberating. I started getting clients just using the smarts and the knowledge that I already had. I didn't have to really do anything new. I just have to put myself out there. And once I got my first client, and I just started learning more and getting more confident, and then my second client and my third client, I was like, okay, let's see what else.
Right.
What else can we do?
Right.
And so after a couple of years of that being really successful and positioning myself into rooms that I never imagined that I would be in, opening myself up to new opportunities, not being afraid of looking crazy, really, because I think that's on any new venture, you gotta want it more than you're scared of what people are gonna think about you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
I agree with that.
I got myself into some rooms, and I got connected to people that I'm still connected with to this day, who look out for me and always look for and offer opportunities and pull me in when they can use my expertise. And that is so much of why I did this, and also part of why I built the energy exchange, because I've made some amazing connections in the beginning of this journey that really have sustained me and taught me and mentored me. And I wanted to be able to pay that forward, because it took me almost 40 years to find it.
Right. Right.
And I want to lessen the learning curve for other women who look like me that don't necessarily have that kind of that reach, or just don't think. So I want to take the awkwardness out of it, and I want people to feel like they can relate to me, and that we're in the same struggle, and that we are going to thrive together. And
Right.
just completely reminding women and anybody else who's listening that, like, you can literally do anything that you want to do. Anything.
Yeah. One of my favorite parts of your book is when you said, I love Drake, but I don't agree with the no new friends. And that's really funny you said that, because at that Friendsgiving that we were at, I got to meet you. I met a couple of other women, and everybody had like this interesting background. And it was almost like a melting pot of talent sitting just at a table, laughing and enjoying each other. And everybody was open to exchanging information and meeting people. No one was closed off and acting bougie, like, oh, I don't know her. Or everybody was so open and loving. It was really exhilarating. That's why I just absolutely had to have you on my show. And then when I saw the book, and I'm like, that's why I'm drawn to her, because energy is everything. Her energy,
Everything.
it spoke so much. And that's why I was so open with you guys there. And I felt free to tell you guys what I was going through during the time. And so, in saying that, thank you. I'm reading your book today. Like, I could probably cry right now, but I'm not. But I absolutely understand. I have a different level of understanding about energy, and just like the things that I've been trying to establish. You mentioned something about being a people pleaser, and I'd like to think I'm a tough little Inglewood chick. I'm like, I'm no people pleaser, but in reality, I'm such an empath that I put people before me all the time, to where I don't establish. You had a section about boundaries. I don't, I'm allowing people to be in my circles that really shouldn't be, because I've known you for a long time, or whatever reason. Your mama and my mama used to go to school together, all kind of craziness. You know what I'm saying? And they really don't have a fit in my life right now, or they are negative. Like you said, it resonated with me when you're telling people about what you want to do. Like Dani C's Love Life Lesson just started out with something I like to do, and I wanted to do. I love talking to people. I love interviewing, getting my journalism on.
I've been seeing you out there, girl. You out there. You working.
That's what I'm saying. I literally started from this seed and just started growing, and people started noticing me, because I was going into different circles and bumping shoulders. And I was scared the first time I did a red carpet, because I'm like, what do I say? What do I do? What if I fumble? You know what I mean? I had to get past that fear, like you mentioned in your book. I absolutely had to. So in saying that, you mentioned you wrote short stories before. Have you written other things like poems or film? Because we could make this like a chick flick on everything.
No, like outside of the short stories, I have a folder full of short stories that I wrote when I was like a teenager. And it's just something that I don't know, like I have all this in my brain, but writing a book it can be a lot. Like for me, and the reason why it's even like a very short book, like it's 30 pages, like you said, it's a lot in here.
It is
because there's so much that I want to do. I break things down into very short-term goals. And so like 100 days, when I'm doing something brand new, I give myself 100 days to do it. Because what I have found out about like long-term New Year's resolutions and things like that is like, the more time you give yourself to do something, the more you're going to procrastinate. And then you just going to wait to the last 100 days at best to do it anyway.
Right. Or say I'll start over next year.
Or start over next year. But what I have found about breaking things down into short spurts is that you get the reward faster.
Yeah.
And so that cycle of winning, it pumps you up. And it's like, even if it's not perfect, it's done. You
Yeah.
did it.
You
In
did it.
whatever form that it is, you did the thing that you said that you're going to do. So if I can do this, then what else can I do? Let's figure out what's next. I do have other, not necessarily books, but I don't know, it might turn into a book. I have like digital content that I want to create for strategy and showing people how to use social media, which is what I do. And like I said, in my 9 to 5. And it just is something for me, like this type of stuff, the lunches that we have, the Friendsgivings and the circles and just meeting new people and telling your stories, like it is a very, very powerful thing. And I would love to compile just like a book of short stories from all the people that I meet.
That's pretty dope. You're right.
Like, the relationships and what it is that we do. And it's something that I'm so passionate about. And I have gotten like just the warmest, just it's like a big hug. And like, yeah, Drake, like I love me some Drake. He been wilding out lately, but
right.
he got a lot on his mind.
21, can you do stuff?
Yeah. And so I just, I want to do it all. I want to do it all. I want people to see me do it all, whether I do it perfectly and nothing's perfect, but successfully or not. Like, because it's okay. Like, you don't have to be, you can be imperfect in public. Like, polished, nobody's perfect. And so just setting an example of just that, which is fail fast, fail often, fail forward.
Right.
Like, do the thing, do everything you want to do. So yeah, I think there are some other written things that I want to put into the universe. Right now, I'm so focused on using this as a tool and marketing this and using what's in there to continue to encourage my community that I'm building. Which has been really, really dope. So,
and you mentioned it in the energy exchange. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the energy exchange is my baby. It is an online community that I created during COVID, and initially it started out because, like I mentioned before, the path to entrepreneurship, especially for Black women, is really lacking resources. It's lacking examples. And I think it's lacking a lot of community. Like, a lot of people get into that entrepreneurial space and they get big and then they turn into these mean girls. And it's like, you can't sit with us.
You can't share information. Get it on your own. Game is to be sold, not told. You hear all these dumbass quotes, right?
Yeah. And I get it. Like, you want to protect, but then I don't get it because there's enough for everybody. And so it was like a sharing of resources moment for me. Like, I wanted it to be a bartering community for entrepreneurs where, like, capital or lack of capital is part of the reason why we don't succeed. We don't have the money. Like, we are over here getting it out the mud and like bootstrapping. And so what I really hoped to create was a space where, like, I could be your copywriter. You need me to write a blog for you? Great, I can do that. And then maybe you're an amazing graphic designer and you can create some graphics for me. So we're not exchanging money, we're exchanging resources, we're exchanging knowledge, we're exchanging things like that. And so that's what it was about initially. And it still is. I really do talk a lot about entrepreneurship and digital skills and things like that. But it is about like what happened at the Friendsgiving. It's about a bunch of women, specifically Black women, because I'm a Black woman, and so that's who I'm talking to. Where we can get to know each other.
Yes.
Where we can share what is going on so we can encourage. There was so much encouragement in that room that day.
It was. You were trying to give us your book. We was like, here's $20 here. Everybody was just, and I just saw it filled your spirit so that it was really a beautiful thing because it showed us supporting one another, not worrying about who's on top, competing. It was just, it was natural, it was genuine love in that room. Well, we were outside, but it was genuine. It was genuine. You mentioned something in your book that really stuck out to me. I mention it a lot on my show because, my goal is to get on Oprah status. I work for the civil right now. I am blessed. It pays my bills. It takes care of my family. However, I did not say when I was a kid, I want to grow up and work for DWP. That's never what I said I wanted to be when I grow up.
Right.
So, you mentioned employee loyalty model that your parents pushed onto you that didn't seem sustainable to you. And that resonated with me because me and my mom, I've talked about this before and said, as soon as I get my Oprah on, I'm going to leave. And she will call in probably today if she's watching and say, and I leave that good job with them benefits yet, because our parents
They
came
love
from a time
benefits.
where they were like, get those benefits, get you a job. And really was just about the stability, right?
Mhm.
And I get it, but now we're in a new age where, like you said, we're being entrepreneurs, we're creative, we're thinking of things outside the box where we don't have to go work for what you call them, the dude bros. I love
Oh, white dude bros, yeah, they everywhere.
yeah,
Yes, the dude bros,
the
yeah,
dude bros. Like I want to be my own boss. I want to do what I love to do. Like I don't want a job, I want a career, and I say that all the time. I want to do something I wake up and I can't wait to do, and that I
yeah.
love to do. I'm not necessarily saying that jumping up for joy when I'm clocking in for someone else, just to be
Not jumping for
quite
joy at
honest,
all.
right? And then still broke, like not broke, but still trying to figure
No,
it out.
bro. Yeah,
You're not where you want to be financially. Like we
yeah,
all got, dreams and aspirations and things we
yeah.
want to do and places we want to go and see, but they all cost money.
Mhm.
So I mean, when I say I enjoyed your book, I was like, oh, you shame. You had this book so many months and you just reading it. But it was perfect, especially like I said, I had a trying week.
Yeah.
And you saying stuff like meditation. That's something
Mhm.
I really have to learn to do because I'm always high strung and high stress. And
Yeah,
I'm really trying to lower my stress level because it's not a good thing for
yeah,
me. And so it really said a lot. And then manifestation, like just saying you can do something, like
yeah.
affirmations. These are things that 10, 15, 20 years ago, you didn't hear us talking about. I didn't know what you would have said manifestation to me. And
Mhm.
I'd be like, what
The
the hell?
devil. Your parents would have been like, that ain't nothing but the devil. That ain't
Go
nothing.
to your Bible, right? Exactly. Manifest right to Psalms, baby.
Yeah,
That's what my granny would have said.
yeah,
Manifest yourself to the book of Psalms. But like you said, now it's these different terms is coming to life, and I'm understanding it more. And your book really helped me see it
yeah.
in a more just concrete way. You know what I mean?
It's so much like it does sound when you talk about like manifesting and meditating, it sounds
Yeah.
very woo-woo. I get
Right.
it. It do be sounding crazy, but even the Bible will tell you it's the power of the tongue. It's
Yes.
how you speak about yourself, how you speak about your life,
Mm-hmm.
the gratitude that you show for where you are.
Yes.
Um, it's okay to reach for more and want more because like this is truly just the beginning for me. I have so many ideas and I've always been a super ambitious person, but it I got knocked back so much from so many things, decisions that I had made in my life,
Mm-hmm.
um, how we're raised, and no shade to the parents. No, I
Yes.
mean, some shade sometimes, but
Right.
you know,
Sorry,
listen,
mom.
we all have different experiences, but I'm at a
Right.
space in my life where I can talk to my parents about the things that they said or they did growing up that don't fit in my life or that maybe affected the way that I
Mhm.
make decisions. And even at my grown age, I'm still realizing that a lot of the decisions that I make, a lot of the things that I'm scared to do are because of how I was raised, how I think other people are going to look at me.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, like I'm paying all my bills. Like this is my life and I get to run it how I see fit. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when the newer generations, they gonna be okay because they
Yeah.
truly do not.
Oh,
They
they do not. They have no fucks.
I love it. I love it for
They
them
give
so much, and
zero
I'm
fucks.
so inspired. They need
Yeah.
some customer service skills. That's a whole nother
That's
story.
about it. Yes.
But
Absolutely.
I'm inspired by their
Oh,
tenacity and the way they move through the world. But for me, it was really it just started with me believing that me telling myself all those years that I was really destined for something amazing was true. I just had to believe in myself enough to make it happen. And you talked about like the boundaries and the people
mhm,
pleasing and the friendships that don't fit and just the relationships in general that don't fit in
mhm.
your life anymore. You know, we we are taught to just like absorb whatever is going on around. It's like, though that's your family, You know, y'all have known each other since
So many years.
like all of that, so that you're expected to stay in these relationships. And we even see like our parents, grandparents, like they didn't break up.
No, and
They
and
was just
some of
mad
them didn't like
together.
each other. Right. It's
They
like,
was
why
mad
are you
together.
staying together? Y'all don't like each other. Please tell me
Exactly.
why. Yeah,
Yeah. And
absolutely.
so it took me, and you know, I've always been a feisty one. I always have. I've been telling adults that they're gonna respect me my whole life.
Me too.
But it got to a point where I was like, okay, these people are actually holding me back from doing more because I'm excited, and then I'm letting somebody's stank energy make me feel like that's not a good move for me. When it's like you can't tell me what's a good move for me. Only I can tell me what is a good move for me.
Yes.
And so setting boundaries and recognizing like who in your life shouldn't be there, because I sometimes I'm working and I got my head down because I'm formulating a plan, but I don't want to build in silence.
Right.
I want to build with a community that's excited for me.
That's
I want
like
to build,
yeah.
I want to build with people who are also ambitious and have goals. And like, your goals don't have to look like my goals. Just if whatever it is, there's space for us. Even if it's just like, okay, we're all working on something, let's all sit down for an hour to 2 hours. We ain't even got to talk to each other, but we all know that we're working on something, just to like create those safe spaces and for us to just feel, like we're not in the journey by ourselves, because trying new things can be very isolating, especially when you come from, like I said, I'm from the projects. Like, I went in there talking about manifestation and meditation. I mean, back then anyway, I feel like it's
you crazy.
I'm seeing it more in Black communities, and I love it. But it definitely, it's about who you're around. It's about what you consume, content, like the negative talk. Even like I talk about the shade room in my book. I hate the shade room.
I know. I was just bringing that. I was going to bring that up because it's funny you said that, because I will take social media breaks every now and then. But doing this, I have to promote. So every time I said I'm going to delete, I still have to come and post something. And then you find yourself scrolling and you're doing the same crap. But I like how you put in your book, it doesn't have to be mean. You don't have to be like, oh, I'm cutting them off. You can do that abruptly. But you gave some word tracks to say to people like, you know, I don't feel this way. I don't agree with that. Or, you know what, this is not really settling. Like, you had some great things, and I'm learning to use those words. Because in me, I'm so worried about how I'm making other people feel when they care fucking less how they're making me feel, right? But I'm always thinking of others and saying, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to, but they're making me feel bad. Like, every time I get on the phone with you, or every time we talk and come in contact, it's something that I just leave. You know, and you don't realize, like you said, energy is everything. It's also transferable. So when you're talking to somebody that's negative all the time, or talking down, or woe with me, you start feeling that. And then it got to the point, my husband, he makes me so accountable. He will check me in 100%. I'll get off the phone with somebody, and then I'll be all of a sudden a little snappy. He'd be like, who was you just talking to?
Who was you just talking to? Don't talk to him no more.
I'm gonna start hanging up that phone on them, because I don't the negative energy. No, because you pass it on to me, and now I got an attitude, and I ain't even did shit. I was just cool a minute ago. You know what I mean?
And you was just cool a minute ago. Like, what happened?
What is going on?
Nah, that's 100% true. And I have so many stories of that over the years, but and not like even very, very recently. And it's not always me setting a boundary. Like, people have set boundaries with me, and I listen.
Right.
If I'm not the person you need in your life,
tell me.
You ain't even got to tell me, honestly. I'm a feeling. And when it happens, you know, I'm not saying that these things are not unsettling at times.
Yeah.
But it's necessary.
Yeah.
You have to go and where you're wanted and where you need to be, just like everybody else has to. And so I think it's like, we're all just doing the best we can. Some of us are doing the best we can. Some of y'all,
some of y'all just waking up existing. Like, y'all ain't living. I don't know what y'all doing. Okay.
But now, just really taking stock, you said, of how you feel with certain interactions, and And if you need to remove yourself from situations, figuring out a way to do it, it can be difficult, but
because like I said, you don't want to hurt people's feelings or you don't want to come off as like, rude, but I got to protect my energy. And that's where I'm at right now in my life. I'm like really trying to, protect my peace. I want to be peaceful. I'm already crazy. I don't need no extra. You know what I'm saying? I don't need nobody to mess me up because as my husband, I do fine by myself. I do quite all right with that.
Not the bruh.
This is the sound maker. So when I'm saying this, he knows. That's why he's like, yep, that's the button.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a practice.
In getting through your book writing, but like what challenges did you come across while like writing the book or in the process of publicating your book? Because, like you said, a lot of resources aren't out there for Black young women, us trying to go out and everybody doesn't want to give the information up. What did you run into some issues or challenges when it got time to say, okay, I'm finished with this book. Now what do I do with it?
Yeah, I didn't really have any examples of like over the years, I've gotten a few books from like smaller Black creators that I've come across through social media. And social media is an amazing place. It can be really dangerous, but there's so much good on it too. And so I started paying attention to other people kind of on my same level, starting out, trying to figure out where they want to go, who are putting out these books. And so I'm like, and a lot of them are small books like this, nothing too crazy. And so my first thing was like, okay, you've got 100 days to do this, right? Okay. What is it that you're going to talk about? And it was a bunch of things that I wanted to talk about. But as the deadline kept getting closer and closer, I was like, okay, you've got to edit. You've got to figure out what the focus of this one project is going to be. And if you want to talk about all that other stuff, you can do that in another time. But if you keep pushing out the deadline, you're going to keep pushing out the deadline and you're never going to do what it is that you said that you're going to do. So I gave myself grace there. I had done a bunch of writing and then I ended up coming back and scrapping so much of it. And I was like, all right, we're just going to talk about energy. We're going to talk about that feeling. We're going to talk about really just reaffirming to other women that you really can get the life that you want.
Yes.
Once you start taking stock and auditing what's going on in your life and the opportunities that you are creating for yourself. So I did it all initially just on like a Word document or a Google document. And so when it was done, I was like, okay, what next? So I'm a Googler. If I don't know, I'm going to Google it. I'm going to Google it immediately, actually. And just figuring out different ways to do it. What I ended up doing is formatting it on Canva.
Okay.
So Canva, it's a graphic design app for, real graphic designers use it, but if you are not a graphic designer by any stretch of the imagination, Canva is they have a desktop application and they have a mobile app where you can make anything. You can make anything.
So it's graphic designing for dummies, basically.
Yes.
I know graphic designing.
So good. I recommend definitely anybody looking into it for so many reasons. But I just found a book format and I copied and pasted and shifted around and moved things until it made sense. And that took a minute because it gets a little frustrating. Yes. Because this is all brain power. Like you're picking out the fonts and you're picking out the designs and you're making charts and graphs. Like the book, it's like a book / journal because of the different prompts that I have inside of it.
I love that.
So I really just played around with it until it was something that made sense to me. And as far as the publishing goes, I looked around and I was like, what are my options? You can self-publish, you can publish on Amazon. There's a lot of different places that you can put your material. But of course, people charge fees and there's definitely a learning curve. So I ended up going through this company and basically downloading the PDF from Canva and printed it out from there.
And I did it all. Yeah. And that's amazing because we think, like you said something in here, stop using I won't. Say I will. Stop using I can't. Those words, and like you said, it's about manifestation and just the power of the tongue. You say stuff because I'll say stuff like this, like, I'll never be able to and I can't. And my husband's like, I'm telling you, y'all should be twins because he literally, even though I know you wrote this for the women, I know totally this could be this book could be for
Yeah, it's for
anybody that
everybody.
it's for absolutely everybody. And you spoke about like I said, just like the new year, new me, waiting. I like that you gave yourself a limit, and it is some parts in here where you have us writing and journaling, like write out your affirmations. What do you want out of this life? Like, it's really a good book, y'all. Like, seriously, it really is. It's amazing, and I'm blessed to have met you and been able to come across this book because it's changing my life as we speak. Seriously, I have to buy it. What advice would you have for people that are writing books and that want to go into publication? Like you said, you touched on some of the topics, like give yourself a limit, don't procrastinate. But like Google, Canva, like those are some good things and, resources that you can give us to let people know that, hey, it's possible. Don't say you can't. I mean, how much, without getting too much in your business, is it that costly to do something like this?
But see, that's the thing. You can get all of my business about this because those are one of the barriers that keep us from doing these things. We do not know how much money goes into producing these types of things. Yes. We think it has to be a big old production. And that alone, when you already live in paycheck to 3 days before paycheck, it's like, girl, I can't write no book. I gotta pay this rent. You know what I'm saying? Inflation in this economy, like it's a lot going on. Girl. And so, yeah. So because I did this, I'm just gonna say the bootleg way and just basically did it on my own. Canva is free or like $12.95 a month. Of course, I use like Google, which free to do the document. Right. The printing of this book is the only thing that costs me money. And I think, and it's been a couple of years since I've done it, but I didn't spend more than like $150.
See, that's what I'm saying. And we spend that. I spent that on this hair. Okay, hairdo. So I have no more than that, actually.
Oh my God.
Shut up. Like, I can, because a lot of us will say, well, I don't have money for that. But you have money for what you want, right? You going out, you got Hennessy, you going out to the bars, you able to go smoke your tree. You're able to do a lot of things. So you just got to put it towards, you got to prioritize if it's something you really want. Yeah. So before we get too far, because I do Dani Cees segment, and I had a good topic, which will really be relevant to what we're talking about, especially talking about social media. I'm 42. You said you were 44. I just turned 42 last month. And I'm from that era too, where we didn't have no damn internet. And I was a hip hop artist. So we were putting flyers on the car, door to door. Like, you didn't have social media, put out a flyer and tag everybody. That was not even, you had to really get out and beat your feet and talk to people. But before I get too far into that, where can we get a copy of your book? And tell us what's next for Ena, because we definitely want to keep follow up with you. You have great energy. You have the energy exchange, which is awesome. Like, I need to get down. I'm so mad I missed your event. I had another event going on.
There's going to be more.
I absolutely
that's part of what's coming next. Yeah. You can get my book on my website, which is theenergyexchange.co, not .com, just .co, but it's spelled exactly theenergyexchange.co. What's next for me? I'm not in corporate, but I quit my corporate job once I figured out what was going on. I got the hell up out of there because they wasn't finna stress me out no more. But I work in nonprofit now. So I work in climate and environmental justice, and we work with 127 grantee partners across the United States. And so I have been doing a lot of digital workshopping with lots of different organizations. It is something that I really enjoy because it is something that I'm really good at, and being able to explain it to other people in a way that makes sense and kind of champion and cheerlead for them to, be very authentic and do exactly what it is that they know how to do on the ground in digital spaces. And so in addition to my energy exchange community, which, like you mentioned, we had an event, which is my relaunch of the company in March, called it my spring fundraiser. It was really, really incredible. I'm looking to do one of those a quarter. So I'll be doing something in summer and then something in fall. Yeah. And so just figuring out what that looks like. There are some collaborations that I've been working with other Black women creators that I've built relationships with over the years. So definitely look out for that. And then I'm back consulting with businesses on social media. So my books are open for
I'm gonna have to
consulting.
hire you, girl, because I'm gonna tell you, I have a love-hate relationship with this social media because I feel like, it seems so easy when like I said, we didn't have that. So it seems like, I could just go in here and I'm an influencer today and I'm just blah, blah, blah. And it's like, ain't that a bitch? Okay. ain't that a bitch? Or, the hashtags and the times on when you should post. Like, I have a short attention span. I don't have time for all that. I don't want to do all that. I want to hire somebody to do that loves to do that. I actually have a friend, Coach Cam. Shout out to Coach Cam. He's like, Dani, send me your stuff. Let me put it in a reel. This is how you need to do it. I'm like, boy, you so young and smart. You go ahead with your little cute self. I can't even get into it. But bringing me to Dani Cees segment, that's what I was going to talk about is social media detoxing, because like you said, you have the shade rooms. You have this new guy that I can't think of, but he posts all this, somebody dying on fentanyl and all these it gets very, very depressing. I don't even watch the news. So why the hell am I on the internet scrolling and watching a bunch of negative stuff about people I don't even freaking know? So my topic today on the Dani Cees segment is like, what do you guys think about social media detoxing? Is it necessary and why? And can it affect your daily life? For me, especially since I'm going through different things right now in my life, I need to keep my aura and everything positive. So I'm trying my best to not wake up fresh out of my bed, sit on the toilet and start scrolling on Instagram. It's keeping it real, because the first couple of things you see is something negative. Like this morning, I was like, and my husband's like, what? I was like, Jerry Springer died. I know, is that crazy? But he's just like, damn, I thought that really happened. Like, you be getting all into this stuff. And I don't even know Jerry, even though we all grew up with Jerry. Jerry was a part of my life. Okay. We used to ditch school and literally sit and watch Jerry.
I'm sad to hear about that. Social media detoxes. I feel like if your social media is negatively affecting your life, then you definitely need a detox from it. But a detox could also be taking an audit of who you're following on your social media. Because for me, that is what makes it. It's social media, yes, but it's your social media.
Absolutely.
So if your timeline is full of murder, death, kill, and Real Housewives of Atlanta, I mean, then that is what social media is going to continue to bring to you. So whether it's unfollowing all those people, whether it's just starting to seek out new people that have shared interests, because like you were saying before, when we started jumping to something new, it's hard for people to relate because we've been this one person for so long, and now we are segueing into this other person, and so a lot of people don't get it. So you can use social media to find those new people that understand what you're going through and that have advice for you, or just that you can look at as examples of the next move that you want to make. But social media can be a lot. I don't watch the news either. I'm definitely not gonna watch it on social media.
Right. And so I like that you gave, some examples, like search certain hashtags if you want Black entrepreneurs or Black moms, or, put in that hashtag and start following those different type of people. And you even gave us some names and different people to follow. So I do want to open up the phone lines. I know we're running late, but I think we're good. The phone number is 747-888-0677. If you want to talk to my girl Ena about her book, Energy is Everything, or if you want to talk about Dani Cees' segment topic, which is social media detoxing, is it necessary and why? And do you find it affecting your daily life? Because absolutely, in my most recent weeks or so, I have been finding it really, really challenging. Really, sometimes where I just got to turn it off. People fighting that I know, going underneath each other's posts, talking crap. Like,
who has time to do all that?
Girl, people have plenty of time because they sitting at home talking about social media. I still clock in. I still clock in somewhere, so I literally don't have time to do it. But still, when we say we don't have time, when we do have time, it's just addicting. And it's getting to the point where it's draining. I think sometimes emotionally, like I don't want to see and hear that who got killed and who died and all this stuff every day, all day, because I start to feel sad about people I don't even freaking know. And like I said, even the drama, you're seeing people fight and bullying each other on on the internet, when there are some positive things that we can be using it for. There are people like Ena that's on there that has things that she's, sharing good information and topics. I try to do the same thing. That's really how I started Dani Cees Love Life Lessons. I would get up every morning and I would do a live, and my people would start like looking forward to my lives, and I was just being transparent. My husband is super private, so he's like, "Why did you say that?" I'm like, "Because it's the truth." Even my mom, like, "Oh my God, you just told them about this and that." I'm like, "Mom, my story might help somebody else." So I've always been a transparent person. I'll tell you from whence I've come, because I've not always had it together. I've been struggling.
Some days still don't.
Had bad relationships and all kinds of crap. You know what I mean? And when you overcome, for me, it's empowering to share with people that, hey, if you're stuck in a place right now, you feel like you're stuck, you don't have to be. You absolutely don't have to be. So you guys call in 747-888-0677. Ask some questions, ask away, talk to Ena, talk to me, talk about social media, just talk about life, because energy is everything. And hopefully we've been able to like share with people today that, it's not always bad. Try to find the good in it. And my husband been telling me that.
Find the good in it, and walk your own path. Like, don't let anybody discourage you from doing whatever it is that you want to do. We as women we pour so much into other people, our families and our friends and our jobs and all of that. And we put ourselves on the back burner a lot. And so I'm like heavy on the self-care, heavy on the slow mornings, heavy on doing things when I feel like it.
Yes.
I don't want to be rushing anything. And of course, that does not apply to everything, but carving out those spaces where you can just be like, and if you don't want to completely deactivate your social media, just find something else to do with your hands. I've been knitting.
You know what? That's real talk. And even for me, I'm like I said, I'm learning to just not be so negative. Looks like we got a caller. Yes. Who's calling?
Hi, boo.
Hi, is this
it's
my
your
mom?
mom?
I told you. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Your mom's funny.
Hi.
Hi.
What's your guest name?
Her name is Ena.
Ena?
Yeah.
Hi, Ena.
Hi. She's funny. That would be my mom.
I'm late calling in. I'm sorry. I'm getting old. I got my days mixed up.
I love Mom.
I thought what you guys were just saying, just talk about life and real things.
Call from
Lolo.
Oh, God. You hung up on my mom. Lolo? Hello?
She gonna get y'all for that.
I didn't mean to hang up on
No,
your mom.
Yogi hung up on my mom because he doesn't listen to me. Hi, Shiloh.
No, I know I didn't do it.
This is my cousin. This is my cousin Shiloh. Shiloh, thanks for calling in.
Hey, what's happening, y'all? How y'all doing?
Great.
Good.
Now you know my mom's calling back in.
Good.
This is funny.
Shiloh, hold on.
call from
Mom?
Hi, Mom.
Hey, I got to hang up the YouTube. I think that's what dropped the call.
No, I think it was your son-in-law that dropped the call because another call was coming in and we were trying to ignore that call and so it wouldn't be beeping in the ear. But anyway, so when you were talking about being transparent about things in life, just talking life, like, Mom, this book, Energy is Everything, I'm going to give you one because it's so good. It's absolutely so good. It says some really positive things in a short, sweet time. Ena is so talented. I met her through Letitia and Joy. So it was meant for us to come together.
I just like, man, the relationships I've been building out of starting with the lunch, the picnic we had for Joy's birthday, like, has been amazing.
Yes, yes.
Tyra,
I love her.
She's amazing. She's writing a book too, so I'm really excited to see.
I love her. It's so funny. We know the same people. We found she was like, "You look so familiar." We kept trying to put our finger on it. We finally placed it and figured it out. Like, okay, that's where we know each other from, through a mutual person.
Yeah.
So, Mom, what do you feel about social media detoxing? You think you need to tap out sometimes? Is it a little depressing, or do you just follow positive people?
Yeah, positive people. You know, I'm not big on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I tried. My main thing on social media is people that I'm friends with. I know. I at least try to acknowledge them on their birthdays. That's about the extent of my social media. Somebody posts a prayer and asking for prayer and healing, and you know, I'll join in on things like that. But you know, negative, toxic, that's never been me.
Right.
You know, I enjoy my peace too much for that.
Absolutely. Protect it at all times. Energy is everything. But yes,
that's
this book really covers a lot of great things about us procrastinating on things that we need to do, meditation, manifestation. I mean, she talks about a lot of stuff. Like this week was a little trying for me, and it absolutely hit my soul. I was like, oh, she's speaking straight to me. She wrote this book for me.
I did. I said, hey, sis.
Right?
Yeah.
That's something, an area I need to improve on, like doing affirmations and meditating, you know?
Yes, this book, then I'm going to send it to you because she gives you like things. It's a journal too. So there's like workshop type stuff in here. You know, she asks you questions.
Is it on Amazon, or how do you get the book?
Tell her again.
You can get it on my website. I'll make sure Dani has the website, but it's theenergyexchange.co, not .com, just .co.
.co. So the energy, the energy exchange.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a short, sweet little read, and yeah, just really talking about how you can mold your life into whatever you want it to be. Just gotta check your ego, believe in yourself, and make sure you have the right set of people around you. And don't be afraid to let people in or put them out.
Right? Exactly. Like she has a chapter in here that says it takes a village. So you do need people. You just need to have the right people. And sometimes they're brand new people. Like I said, we've only known each other since November, and I already feel connected. Then we found out we have mutual friends. So the world is so small, right?
Yes.
It's absolutely small. Well, thank you so much for calling in, Mom. I'm going to call you a little later after the show. Thank you for always supporting me.
Yay.
You're welcome. All right, Ena, and I've written your website down, so I'll
thank you. Thank you.
I like to support my people. That's very important, which is another thing my daughter can tell you about me.
Yes,
so,
she does.
Yeah,
she definitely does.
Support I love that. It was nice to meet you.
All right, very nice to meet you. God bless you. And all right, baby, I'll talk to you later.
All right, Mom. Bye.
All right, good night. Bye.
I gotta love that.
Shiloh, you still on the line? Can you hear me, Shiloh?
Shiloh says you punning me.
I know. Sorry, Shiloh, but you know,
Mom. Hear me?
Okay, we hear you now, Shiloh. What's going on? What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I hear you. All right. Yeah, I was just calling in, chiming in. I was watching the show and wanted to say, first of all, definitely to you, Miss Ena, what I'm saying, congratulations to you, to your success and what you're achieving, doing that. You know what I'm saying? You're doing a great job. And I'm definitely going to have to check that book out. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to see someone pushing positivity and trying to empower our Black folks, everybody, obviously, but of course, you know what I'm saying, we definitely need to empower one another.
Mm-hmm. Heavy on the Black.
And to do the damn thing, you know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you put your mind forward, you put your mind to it, you can't achieve it. And that's something I'm kind of slowly learning myself, and more where my life is at right now, and things I've been talking to, especially like with my mom and things like that. So this is a show that's kind of touching me personally, because it's something I need to hear, because I've been hearing these words more and more these days. So just wanted to say congratulations to you on that.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
What's that?
No, I was just saying thank you. I
Okay.
talk to women so much that I don't often hear things like this from men that are speaking
Right?
to me directly. And so that is very cool. Because like I said, the mindset shift is for everybody. And
Yes.
like we just gotta stop being afraid to be different, do something new. Like if it don't work out, then you can stop doing it. But if you want to do it, you should try it. You should do it. Yeah. See what it feels
Definitely, definitely.
like.
That's
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. It's where you put your energy to. Like I said, and it's something that's not easily learned. It's something that you probably got to do every day of your life. If you know what I'm saying, if you want to live that type of lifestyle that you want for yourself. So I definitely I understand that. So definitely congratulations to you once again. And to the topic, to the you was talking about social media.
Uh-huh.
And detoxing from that, yeah, you already know me, you know how I get down, Danielle.
He don't even
I'm not
have
on
social
social
media
media.
at all.
Nah,
Listen, I
for whatever
respect people
reason.
who are not in these digital streets because it's rare, but the level of peace that you must have because you're not scrolling on your phone all day is
Not at
must
all.
be
And
great.
that's funny that I was wondering if he was going to touch on that. But yeah, my topic is social media detox. So you've been detoxing the whole time because you haven't even created one, which is amazing because Facebook's been around for about
Forever,
15 years or
forever.
more.
Yeah.
And then
Well, the
Instagram,
thing is,
go ahead.
the thing is, I do have a MySpace and I do have a and listen to me, MySpace and a
What the
Facebook, and my name is out there.
hell? Okay.
Right. But I haven't been on it for so long. I got a MySpace back in the day because my cousins was like, "Oh, we can't ever reach find you. Let's put you in the family and all that." But I didn't stay. I didn't mess with it. And I got a Facebook. I don't know, 15 years ago or whatever. And it's like I'm not on that either. You know what I'm saying? You already, like I said, I'm not
Nobody
on it.
is.
So, trying to have it, whatever. You can look my name up. You'll probably get my son. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the point is, what I'm
Exactly.
saying is like, yeah, people do need to detox from it, and it's not necessarily detox from it. It can be a positive space. It can be a positive place to learn and to help and to what I'm saying, encourage. But
And network.
it's sad to say that our to network, yes, definitely. But it's sad to say that our not even generation, our community as a whole, as the world, we embrace negativity, violence, sex. You know what I'm saying? So that's what sells. That's what gets all the likes, the looks, and things like that because it's the negative factor. And that's at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Take it as deep as you want to go. It's God and the devil. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So it's easy to go to the devil's side because it looks so good and luxurious and all that. And at the end of the day, that's what more of what social media is used for as a negative space in different areas and avenues where it could be more positive in a way more positive light. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm not even on social, but yeah, I read news articles and things. And if you chime in on different things, TMZs, all different stuff, you're going to get passed in to a social link, you know what I'm saying, Instagram or to watch this video or to see this news clipping or whatever, or whatever. So it's all there. And it's just a matter of how we use it. But just as humanity and as mankind, it's like we're all about, it's more of a negative way of life for us.
Unless you're talking to Ena. Unless you're dealing with Ena, because Ena
don't play that. I mean,
positive hashtags, tell you who the positive people to follow.
Yeah. And I know I'm the villain in a few
But we
stories.
need more Enas out there. That's the thing.
Yeah. So there's lots of me out there. We just got to start working together and that's why I'm like networking across, finding the people that are like doing the work that you're doing. Not as, like, it doesn't have to be exactly what you're doing, but just who are committed to reinforcing just more positive experiences in our community and bringing community back. Like we don't have community like we used to have community, even though our parents was dragging us to the picnics and stuff like that. Like we don't do as much of that stuff because for so many reasons, but finding ways to be able to do those types of things peacefully and just, yeah, we gotta put the love back in it. So I'm excited to be just one piece of the puzzle to make that happen. So thank you
for calling, Lolo. We appreciate you. You always supporting, bro. We love you over here, and thank you for calling in.
Oh yeah, no doubt. It's always one love, no doubt for sure.
Yeah.
And my boy Yogi over there working all this and making it happen too, man. Much love to you,
Shout
bro.
out, gotta give
I'm out of here.
All right, bro.
Oh yeah, shout out to Punchy and T all day. You
That's
already
right.
know.
You know he's
All
making
right,
it
fam.
happen. All right, for sure.
Heck yeah. All right, I'm gone.
I love
Yes,
that.
that was good feedback. I love that. I always love when the guys come call in, because mostly it's always women. And that's what I was saying about your book. I know you were talking to the girls, but absolutely, this is something that all of our people can take from. I mean, everybody can, but like you said, I'm Black, so I'm talking to my Black people. You know what I'm saying?
The only experience I know.
And so
but even intergenerational too. Like my mom reads this, my younger nieces and cousins. So it can start whenever you're ready.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Ena, for coming on to the show. I think this is a great show. I always ask my guests, though, at the end, this is Dani Cees Love Life Lessons. Drop a gem on us about any one of those things. Love, life, lessons, anything.
Let me tell you something. The best thing that I can say for anybody is always make sure you are choosing yourself.
All right.
Do the things that make the most sense for you and your future self.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for tapping in. I definitely have to have you come back, especially when you have your energy exchange, another a friend raiser. I definitely am not missing the next one, even though it's gonna be in the hot summer. But I'm all right. A fat girl can sweat a little bit.
Hopefully next time we can do it in studio.
Right? Absolutely. I know. I just didn't want to pass my little germs. All of a sudden,
I appreciate that.
Okay, right. She's like, please, because I have children. Right. Right? And nobody wants a sick kid when it's about to get hot. No, everybody got time for all that. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for stopping by, and you have a wonderful evening. We love
you too. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. You guys have tuned in to Dani Cees Love Life Lessons, where your presence has been a blessing. So I hope you enjoyed this session. You know, we're going to get on out of here next week. I got a wonderful, wonderful guest coming in to studio. Hopefully I ain't sick and this person can come in the studio. We're going to have some jewels for you, literally. The Diamond Collective, we are going to be highlighting some people from that. Shout out to Day One for this beautiful project he put together. And I hope y'all have a wonderful evening. See you next time, Thursday, 7 p.m. Have a good night.